Another bullish close in the books, and price could be suggesting some powerful moves to come soon. Momentum is shifting in favor to the bulls in many timeframes, but most importantly, the macro timeframes. We are on the precipice of price, and the bulls may have a chance at the glory here. Welcome back to the channel on this Wednesday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol ASRE. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive into ticker symbol ASRE, and what you're observing here is the 3-day time frame, and it's a very important time frame at that, seeing that we have 16 hours and 7 minutes 20 seconds and counting to close this 3-day iteration, which looks very much like a hammer candle after a downtrend or during one, right? That could suggest a reversal of price. In other words, kind of a V-shaped recovery here, right? Of course, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get that every time, but it is suggesting it nonetheless. Okay, so sorry I have the price action moving like that. I just wanted to see if we're getting some type of increase in volume or something. But, I mean, it's looking okay, right? We have a volume on the 3-day iteration here of 529,000. Last candle was 469. And this topside candle was 883,000. 700 here, 500 there, 688 there. Okay, so yeah, the previous 3-day was 469, and now it's 529. So volume is increasing. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. If we're getting this reversal signal, then we have one resistance to get over. I mean, of course, there's several, but one major one to look at is the 31-cent zone. And that is currently the high that we're facing right now, right? 31.90 to be specific, but yes. Okay, and that would essentially take price action to the mean of 35 cents, which is just about, to be precise, around 34.55. So it's rounded to 35. All right, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what we have. Okay, so this is the daily time frame descending channel that we've been kind of observing here for some time. Now, this descending channel does have bullish properties, right? So there is a chance here that we can start preparing an upside. And I just identified this pennant here. What I don't like is that we're about to print the next candle here, and that would put us at around 85% to the apex of the triangle. I don't really like it when the triangles get fulfilled all the way to the apex, because the typical behavior for these pennants are that they are due to break down or out at about 65 to 75% to the apex. So ideally here. Right, so now we're about to print another candle here, since the day, of course, finished this time around. And if we are looking at breaking out of this point here, then we can go ahead and take a trend line here for some price objectives. So we'll take a trend line from this bottom side to the very bottom side of the triangle, and this would give us the first price objective. That would take us right to the resistance of 35.46. So it's rhyming pretty nicely with the reversion variant mean at about 34.55, 35-cent round off on the 3-day time frame target, right? So that's already suggesting that potential target. It's nice. Second target to get in line here would be the center of the triangle, right? So this, I guess, would be the, I would say this is about 50% of the triangle here. We apply it to that point of breakout, and then this gives us, what do you know? This topside target of 38.26. Both of these are lining up really nicely, right? Okay, so let me see what 38.26 is, though. Actually, is this on 3 standard deviations? Let me see. It's actually at 2, but let me see what it's like at 1. Okay, yeah, so at 1 standard deviation from the mean, it looks like 39.58 could be the price there. So that is rhyming also pretty nicely with the 38.26 top that the center of the triangle is suggesting. Now, one more target to take into account would be the back of the triangle, right? So something like this. And we apply it to that same supposed area of breakout, right? So in this case, we put it there, and that is suggesting a top side of about 44.03. Okay, so naturally we have to, kind of focus in on the shorter time frame targets, or the targets that are at our reach, right? And not so far away ones. It's not to say that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it's improbable for us to reach it first. Right, seeing that the asset itself has, actually, you know what? We can figure out how much it has its movement. Let's see. Do I have it anywhere here? Okay, not that. We will pull up right now the average true range. Nothing there. There we go. So the average true range on a 6-day close is just about, just shy of 2 cents, right? So, and observing the targets that we were just talking about, we're at 31. 2 cents is actually pretty close to the resistance here. So, in other words, 32.90 would be the ideal true range resistance, which is something that we're already kind of looking at anyway. Right, 32.33 to 33.04 is an immediate resistance, but in fact, 31.95 would actually be the top side of this candle here, which is 31.80. Okay, so yeah, no difference. So 31.95 to 32.90 is the immediate short-term resistance that we are looking for, and it's very probable for price to reach that. But please remember that this pennant can be played both ways, right? So this can actually be played to the downside. First targets to lead at around 27.08. Mid targets to reach at about 25.66. I would say actually about 25.06, and the bottoms and the rear side would actually lead to a target that's right around here at the bottom side of 22.60. So it's important for us to observe price here and mitigate or manage our risk appropriately. Okay, so this is the bi-hourly time frame pennant, and this is playing out pretty nicely. The reason why I'm saying this is because the SMA 50 is currently, SMA 50 and the SMA 100 are currently getting confirmed as valid areas of support. So now if we move on to the 3-hour time frame, you can see here that the SMA 50 is also beneath the price action, and now we are inching at making that SMA 100 on the 3-hour into converting it into a support. 4-hour time frame, what do you know? We have that SMA 50 upside of us right now. We are currently testing that SMA 50, which is usually something very common before price action starts to make some upsides. So this is very much in our favor. 6-hour time frame has now moved price action upside of the SMA 50 as well. Okay, 8-hour time frame, SMA 50 below us. Okay, 12-hour time frame, we have the SMA 50 right up here and the SMA 100 below us. All right, so this is very nice. We're cascading the time frames here, converting the SMA 50 into support on several time frames. That's great. That means that there's a potential here of getting a continuation of that cascading effect. All right, so let's go ahead and now move on to the statistics here, because this is about to fire off and it looks pretty nice. Volatility component about to shift towards the upside. We definitely need volatility to pivot towards the upside alongside the moving average, paired with stochastics with an upside pivot, in order for us to validate or fire off the signal for this statistical backtest. Right? So, this is pretty large, to tell you the very truth. But it is of probability at this point. Okay, so we just have to wait for this setup to happen. But as soon as it does fire off, please remember, volatility component upside, moving average upside, paired with stochastic momentum upside. Okay? And the, let's see here. Okay, so we're on the 8-hour time frame, we're currently sitting at the mean. Right, so this is looking pretty good. We're starting to, knock at the door of that mean there. And if we're looking at the Gaussian channel here, well, that can give us an indication that we are set to move to the upside. How? Well, we have an 8-hour iteration closing upside of the mean band now. So that means that price action may come back down to around 30 cents before a continuation to the upside. And the resistance of this upside is, guess where? Check it out on the right-hand side, 34.58. Well, we just spoke about that because this is right here, 34.55 on the mean band of the 3-day, right? We have 31.95 to 32.92. I'm sorry, right up here, we actually have 35.46, which is the first target from the psychological price objective of this pennant. So also rhyming pretty nice with that target as well on the reversion variant of 34.58. Guys, it's all rhyming pretty nicely. I am pretty bullish the asset even still. Last part of the analysis here is the RSI, and check this out, 30-minute time frame suggesting an upside slightly outside of the danger zone here. So that may actually, I don't know if it's going to pull back, but let's take a look. Okay, so if there's going to be any type of pullback, it's going to be based on a relevant area of resistance, right? So it may be a very short-term pullback too. Now, the bi-hourly time frame is suggesting a potential pullback, and the reason I know that is because, or I suspect that to be, is because we're getting the first breakout out of the SMA 14 represented by the pink line. We are sitting currently in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile, very likely for us to come back down, find support from the opposing side's gravitational zone and the SMA 14 support, bounce to the upside. Okay, so it looks like we have a resistance coming up as well. So the resistance here on the 4-hour time frame and the 8-hour time frame. Yeah, it's just there's slightly, I mean, this one here is definitely within the gravitational zone. It could get pulled back here. And this one is also within the gravitational zone. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, let me go back to that RSI. Sorry. Let's see. Immediate short-term upside. Okay, so yeah, if I'm not mistaken, price action can actually continue on to maybe 3208 with a focus of around 3180. Let me put that in there. Just about here. Yeah, so this would be it right here, right? 3107 to 3208 with a focus of 3180. And then price action would essentially pull back here to start validating the conversion of resistance into support before a continuation to the upside. And it is very clear here that that thesis may actually be the one, right? Based on this short-term upside cascading into the bi-hourly time frame, which then cascades into the 4-hour time frame and the 8-hour time frame, both with resistances for a pullback, which means breakout from the triangle, touch on that relevant area 3190-ish, right, for that resistance, come back down to validate the supports. And it looks like moving on to the 12-hour time frame. So yeah, this would be the pullback here to those supports. And then if essentially maybe finding the bounce from the gravitational zone here after a pullback for a continuation to the upside. And just kind of focus your eyes on both of the RSI signal and the SMA 14. They're both pivoted towards the upside. That means that signal is pressuring it towards the upside. It's looking pretty bullish. Okay, same situation here on the daily time frame. We're actually using the SMA 14 and the gravitational zone as a bounce zone. Okay, so that support is looking pretty nicely. We will look into the 3-day and 5-day when it is pertinent. At this point right now, it's I think it's at a standstill, and we really need the immediate short term to determine where that can go. Okay, team, so now you know the risks, you know the upsides, and you know the downsides as well. So, yeah, in fact, this is another reason why we would come back to validate that, right? I think I did speak about this. The mean band bottom side here at about 30 cents, right? So we would come back down there to validate the support and then continue on to the upside just to make sure that we are, in fact, breaking above the mean band. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, never, never. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well. A very, very good rest of your night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, team.